Hey, Elvis fans, this is Johnny B from Collecting the King Show. I know you're wondering, where's Robert? Well, his ratings were way too low, so I'm starting my own show called the Elvis Disciple Show. We're going to have a lot of fun with a lot of guests, a lot of great conversation.
John.
So stop watching the Spa Guy and tune into the Elvis Disciple Show.
John.
Hey, don't interrupt me. I'm having my own show here. This is going to be a great show. The ratings.
Cut.
Okay, bye.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Collecting the King Show. This is episode 13 and it is called Moody Blue. On this show I'll be talking about Elvis Presley's records on colored vinyl. So it seems only appropriate to call the show Moody Blue, being that that album was one of the first records released by RCA on colored vinyl. Upon vinyl's recent return to popularity, many LPs other than Elvis are being pressed on colored vinyl, and it's really getting to the point of insanity. And here, I'm going to give you a good example of that. This is a colored vinyl version of the new Paul McCartney album, which is McCartney 3. You'll notice up here there's a blue sticker, which indicates that it's a blue vinyl record. This one is on green vinyl. Seems like every artist is releasing records on colored vinyl. So it's no surprise that Sony BMG has jumped on the colored vinyl wagon with multiple releases of the same LP year after year, each on different colors of vinyl. All right, so let's talk about the history of Elvis on colored vinyl. All right, the earliest known colored vinyl Elvis records, to my knowledge, were pressed in the 50s by RCA plant employees. One was the LOC 1035 Elvis Christmas album, which was pressed on red vinyl at the Rockaway plant in New Jersey in the year 1957. A chief engineer who worked at the RCA plant when Elvis's Christmas album was being pressed decided to make a souvenir for himself using the special premium red vinyl reserved for classical albums. Out of that, he made a copy for himself, just one. It was eventually put up for auction at Good Rockin' Tonight auctions in California. I can't officially say how much it actually sold for, but at the time I heard it was something like $25,000, believe it or not. It's been said that this record could be worth 2 to 3 times that in an auction today. I'm not sure, but I was told it is now in the possession of a collector here in the United States. As a side note, the same engineer claims to have pressed a red vinyl 45 single of a gold standard release, which would be the 447-0602. That would be Good Rockin' Tonight, backed with I Don't Care If the Sun Don't Shine. Now, I have never seen this 45. However, there is a red vinyl 45 of Jailhouse Rock, which is listed in Presleyana. Since the Jailhouse Rock 45 that we have listed was pressed in 1957, the same year as the Christmas album, then we have to assume that maybe that might have been the 45 he's referring to. I don't know, but there's probably a good chance that it is. Maybe his memory is off about the 447. I don't know. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying we know for sure there's a red vinyl Jailhouse Rock pressed the same year. 145 that I have seen is a Jailhouse Rock pressed on gold vinyl. I saw this many years ago at a record show in Memphis. I think it might have been Jerry Osborne who showed it to me, or somebody bought it and brought it up to me and said, "Hey, have you ever seen this?" And I kind of freaked out. At first, I wasn't sure what it was, but eventually found out it was pressed in the 50s. It was legit, had the stampings and everything. The specific purpose of this 45 is still not known. It might have been a promotional pressing, though it's not marked as such. It is similar to the other gold label gold vinyl singles by assorted RCA artists that were popular at the time. it could have been pressed at the same time as these others that were pressed by RCA, and they just kind of threw Elvis in there, and that's how it got pressed. But I did see it. I know it exists, and it's probably worth a pretty good penny now. So as far as the history goes, those are the ones from the 50s as far as colored vinyl. There wasn't a lot. I mean, I think those are 2 or 3 were the only ones that RCA pressed. These were experimentals. These were pressed by factory people or executives or whatever, but there was never any 45s or LPs back in the 50s that were pressed for commercial release. Okay? All right. This brings us to the very first commercial RCA release of an Elvis LP, which was, ta-da, Moody Blue. So interestingly, Moody Blue was also pressed on many other colors. In the 90s, a guy by the name of Ernie Rigeri, and I'm going to show you a picture of him. Ernie Rigeri, and I've showed this picture before when we were talking about that controversy about black and blue vinyl, Moody Blue. He's the guy that's actually holding the frame that has the blue vinyl Moody Blue in it that he's presenting to Elvis, I think when he's getting off an airplane or something. So Ernie Rigeri, I guess that's how you say Rigeri, who was the senior vice president at RCA, pressed and was selling colored vinyl Moody Blue LPs and 45s, as well as swirl and splash multicolored vinyl copies in the 90s. He was also involved in some way with pressing some great experimental picture discs, including the Dancing Elvis and others. Now, these colors included white, red, green, gold, and brown. If any viewers out there know of any other colors, just put them in the comments below, and we'll make sure we acknowledge that, okay? But those are the colors that we're aware of. Every collector knew they existed because they would show up here and there. I'd go to a show in Memphis, and somebody would have a white Moody Blue up on the wall or a red Moody Blue, but we didn't know where they were coming from or what until this Ernie Rigeri guy, ran an ad, and I think it was in Goldmine or some record collector's guide of some sort, advertising that he was actually selling these things in California. Now they're going for anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. The swirls and the swirly ones and multicolors are going for about $2,000, but they're very, very popular. So out of all the colored vinyls that RCA did, even though these were not intentional for the public, they're the most valuable. Now, there were many colored vinyl 45s over the years as well, which I'll talk about in a future show when I do 45 singles. The first commercial release on colored vinyl of an Elvis LP was Moody Blue. We know that. The second one, which I don't have a copy of here, was the commemorative album in 1977, which was on gold vinyl. Now, this album was actually the Elvis album. It was a 2 LP set that was sold on TV. And it was a TV offer, and I think it was available before Elvis died. I'm pretty sure it was. So it did very well. It sold quite a bit. Now, right after Elvis died, they took the cover, which is, I think, an Aloha from Hawaii shot, where he's standing with the microphone, and it's a blue background. What they did was they changed the cover, and they shrunk down the picture, put it on a blue cover, and then it says, the Elvis commemorative album. So that came out in 1977 on gold. So the next thing was a Canadian Tribute, and I happen to have that right here. Canadian Tribute was a gold vinyl. This is probably the next commercial release, as far as being able to walk in the store and buy it, okay? Now, this is Canadian Tribute. Now, an interesting thing, we did a whole show on stickers, and I may have mentioned this before, and I don't know if I did or not, but you notice that this sticker here is round and gold, and it says, the special gold album, right? Well, this album was also released in Canada, but the sticker is square or rectangular. But you'll know it's the U.S. copy if you get the round gold sticker. Okay, so there was a bit of a time jump here in between the time that Canadian Tribute came out before we saw another colored vinyl. All right, and according to my research and my experience, the next was a group of 4 albums that came out in 1985, and I happen to have all 4 of them here. So let's take a look. All right, so the first one is Always on My Mind, which is kind of cool. It came out on purple vinyl, which is really cool. And, oh, it's open. So let's take, or is this black? Oh, no, look there it is. It's purple. Okay, so this is a purple vinyl, which I thought out of all of them, this was the coolest one. Okay, I love purple. They re-released the Christmas album in its original gatefold cover. The only thing missing would be the gold sticker. And then this sticker, of course, has the sticker here, which indicates that it's green vinyl. This one is sealed, so I can't show you that. Okay. Now the next one here is Reconsider Baby. This was a cool album because this is like all of Elvis's blues, like the best of his blues recordings. This was on blue vinyl. And then finally, we have this one here, which is a Valentine gift for you. And you might remember when we were talking about the rarest records around, one of them happens to be this album, not just on red vinyl, but with a black label. And this one, of course, doesn't have a black label. But this is what it looked like when it was released. In 2002, what happened was, I think the company was Collectibles. They had paired up with RCA or Sony, BMG, whatever it was at that point in time, and they decided to release these two boxes, and they're called the Top Album Collection Volume 1 and the Top Album Collection Volume 2. And they were literally in wooden boxes, and there were 5 LPs inside each box. I think it had a slide-off lid, and you could take the LPs out. But I don't have the box to show you, but I can show you what one of the records looks like. Because here's my favorite record of all time, my Elvis record, and this is Roustabout. Now this was in that box set, okay? This is one of the records, and this is the color of all the records inside. They were all red. Now this is kind of cool because what they did was they copied everything. I mean, the labels are almost exact to what they were when Roustabout came out. And I just realized this, but you know, one of the rarest records, valuable records as far as the silver stereo labels are concerned is Roustabout. I believe it was the last stereo label to be pressed before they went to the RCA white top logo. So it's interesting that they chose, when they made this, to use the silver stereo label, which is kind of cool. So anyway, this is just one of the 10 albums that were released in those box sets. Now, what happened was a lot of people bought those records, okay, and then they would open up the box sets and they would pull out the records and sell the records separate, okay, because the box sets themselves, I think, were probably about $150, maybe $100 to $150 at the time. So that's what they were originally. So I think what happened was when they got blown out, or at the time when they were, you know, selling out, a lot of people just bought them and then decided to sell the records individually. So anytime you go on eBay and you find a red vinyl 1254 or 1382, which is Elvis's first, second album, or Roustabout, or even the Christmas album, or even Elvis in concert, that's where those are from. And I know I went on eBay just recently and looked, and I could tell that there were several of them out there. Then we take a jump to 2014. I don't have a copy of this album, but the double album Elvis at Stax was released by a comic book company, I guess, called Newberry. Apparently it was a half black and half gold. Newberry Comics put that out as an exclusive, right? That was colored vinyl. Then, not too soon after that, they also did it again with Elvis's first album, the LPM 1254, and made it half pink and half green. Okay, obviously pink being, I think the word Elvis is pink and Presley is green. It was done so that it would match the title Elvis Presley, the colors, okay, pink and green. Then after that, again, another record I thought I had in my collection, but I don't have it, was the Merry Christmas Baby album. And it was very strange because there's a sticker and it says that it's either red or green vinyl. So in other words, when you bought it, you didn't know what you had. Now, maybe they did that on purpose because they figured, well, you know, they'll just keep buying it until they get the green, or keep buying it until they get the red and sell more copies. And who knows, maybe it worked. I don't know. But it just seemed kind of strange that it was randomly, the colors were randomly inserted, but that's what they did. After that came this album here, and this album is Where No One Stands Alone. Okay, and this album came out 2018. First of all, when it was released, it was a Graceland exclusive in order to get it on colored vinyl. Of course, it was black, but Graceland, I think this was the first time Graceland did like an exclusive. So what would happen is you would buy this album, and it would be either blue or pink. Okay, this is the blue one, and this is the pink one. Now here's the problem. RCA, for some reason, did not mark the blue one. This one clearly says pink, okay? Pink vinyl. It also came with an autographed flat. Okay, that's just a flat that I have inside here. That was signed by Lisa Marie Presley right there. Oop. Right there, okay? All right, which was a bonus. And not only that, it also came with a cassette. But I mean, I got it, and I thought, you know, like I think the guy I bought it from said, "Oh yeah, don't worry, it's blue." Without that sticker, you don't really know. So I had to open it, and that's what I did. So, oh, what's this? Oh, okay, that's the little download number thing there that you got. Yeah, that's a download thing. I guess you could download the whole album. I've never done that before. I don't know if anybody's done that. You should let me know if that's kind of a weird thing. I've never done it, but apparently you can download the whole album by using this little number here. Yeah, it's an MP3 download. I guess you go to the website and punch in the number and you get the whole album. You know, it kind of makes you wonder if this is going to be a bonus item down the road, you know, for this album. You know, you got to have this with it, you know. You should. Anyway, here's the inside of the album. I know, somebody's probably already opened this up on eBay, so it's no big deal. But, for sure, it is blue. Okay. And like I said, I had to open it. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't trust, not that I didn't trust the person I bought it from, but nonetheless, to be safe, I wanted to make sure that it was blue. This release came out in 2018. I don't know if you want to do the same thing, but I would imagine that if you get a chance to get the blue vinyl sealed, I don't know. I think you'd have to open it. I did, and I think just about anybody would. Okay, our next colored vinyl, RCA colored vinyl, or Sony BMG at this point, is King of the Ring. Okay, and that's this one here. This was an exclusive record store day release, and this is on red vinyl. This is sealed, and because it says so on the sticker, I trust them. So red vinyl, that was the next release. Then after that, the next release was the International Hotel, 69, and this was also, I think, oh no, this was an RCA, this is an exclusive to Graceland, so I think this is the second colored vinyl that was available at Graceland, okay? Of course, again, all these colored vinyls have original black vinyls, but the color ones are the ones that everybody seems to be going crazy for. Of course, this has this little card in here, you might notice, and it's actually kind of cool. You know, this is kind of a bonus item, so you kind of want to keep it with the album, right? So anytime you get a chance to pick up these little cards that go with the new release, you should pick them up. This is pink and gold. It's a 2 LP set. One is pink and one is gold. 2 LP Graceland exclusive. All right, this came out in 2020, and this is a Walmart exclusive. Don't know if it's still available or not. It might be, it might not be. I don't know. But whatever the case might be, this is a Walmart exclusive, and it's on gold vinyl. It's kind of cool, isn't it? I mean, Elvis's Golden Records on gold vinyl. The next thing was from Elvis in Nashville. And again, this is a Graceland exclusive. I love the colors. They don't want to say blue and orange or whatever, so they say aqua and tangerine. But again, this is an exclusive, and they learned their lesson because obviously they put it on here that it is a aqua and tangerine colored vinyl. All right, so that is another Graceland exclusive. This album here, called the Classic Christmas album, came out on black vinyl, and of course everybody went to get it because it had that great picture of Elvis in the white suit, probably from the '68 Comeback Special or The Trouble with Girls. But anyway, this was released at Target not too long ago. As a matter of fact, I think 2020. All right, and this is kind of cool. They called this a Snowflake Vinyl. when actually it's kind of a clear vinyl, and they got these bursts of snow or white, which it kind of looks like a snowflake. And this was only available at Target. Okay, and what's weird is 1 year later, they're going to really soak this thing, right? 1 year later, the same exact album comes out this year on white opaque or opaque white, one of the two you choose. But anyway, look at this. It's the same exact album. That same album that I mentioned before that came out where it was either red or it was green, that very same album, which was called Merry Christmas Baby, they re-released it again this year, 2021, and this time it's called a red and green swirled vinyl. It's really kind of like, almost like a clear vinyl, but they threw in a bunch of square pieces of green and red, almost as if they took the green and red vinyl from before and spattered it all together into a clear vinyl. What's weird about it, to me, it looks like confetti. So I kind of call it a confetti vinyl, a red and green confetti vinyl, because that's what it looks like. It looks like confetti thrown into a vinyl. All right, but anyway, you decide for yourself. The latest release, all right, and everybody is familiar with this because it just came out, all right, is Back in Nashville. All right, and this album came out as a Graceland exclusive. But here's the interesting thing. Believe it or not, this thing sold out before it was released. You would think Graceland would have at least held on to 100 copies so that they could at least take that 100 copies and have it on hand so that when people walk in, they say, hey, where's the Graceland exclusive? Because that's what this is. But it's not available at Graceland. It's not there. Okay, I know many people that saw it online, like you could buy it in advance, and they just said, I'll just get it at Graceland because I'm going to Graceland, around the time it comes out. They went to Graceland, and guess what? It wasn't there. So needless to say, collectors and dealers, mostly dealers who picked it up and bought it, all right, are now selling it on eBay for $150. Although I have seen it for less than that, but I mean, people are, as far as, it's just like the McCartney album, it sold out right away. So boom, right away it goes to eBay. It's $150. So this one is as high as $150. I've seen it as low as maybe $60 or whatever. But the whole thing about it is, folks, it's gone. If you want it, you're going to have to buy it off of eBay or online. That's pretty much it. But anyway, this comes in what they call sea blue vinyl. Like I said, they can't say just blue. They got to call it sea blue vinyl. All right, so anyway, that is the latest colored vinyl. So the thing about these colored vinyls is they're here to stay, and they're selling really well. They're very popular, and I'm sure there's going to be many, many more Elvis regular Sony BMG releases on colored vinyl in the future. Now, I'm sure collectors are aware of the Friday music releases of Elvis's RCA catalog, of which there are many colored vinyl LPs, almost to the point of insanity. And we could almost do a whole show on those, which maybe we will in the future. But there's a company there, Friday Music. They started off by doing these cool gatefold covers of Elvis's original catalog, and everything was going well. And then somewhere along the line, they decided to do a color. Well, now they do like 3 or 4 colors of the same release. I remember talking to Ernst Jorgensen one time, and apparently the people at Friday Music, got permission from Sony BMG to release these records in the United States. Well, I believe their contract must have run out because, or the titles that they can use have run out, because they at one point had said they were going to do all these other releases, and it never happened. So instead now we get the same thing over and over again. 4 different colors of GI Blues, 3 colors of Roustabout, etc., etc. We'll go into that some other time. The same goes for many new bootleg LPs being released today on colored vinyl, or even picture discs being the main draw just to sell the record. I mean, it's almost like the material doesn't matter anymore, because pretty much everything that's ever been recorded by Elvis is out, one way or the other. I remember Ernst Jorgensen telling me in Memphis one time that, they're at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, they've got everything. Just about everything there is that can be released has been released. So unless somebody can come up with some newfound music, that's where we stand. But here's an example. Like, this is kind of a cool album. This is an example of a bootleg, okay, from Europe. that was released, and this is a picture disc. It's not open, it's still sealed, but right here you can see there's a sticker here, and maybe I can zoom in on it. But anyway, if you look at this sticker, it shows you what the picture disc looks like, and basically it's the picture you see on the cover. But it's a beautiful picture. I mean, this is gorgeous. I don't know where they got it from, or how they got permission to use it. Maybe it doesn't matter, I don't know, but this almost looks like an FTD release. You know, it's really, really cool. That's the front cover, and here's the back cover. And you know, this is kind of weird because when I first heard about it, it's called Elvis Sings the Mad Professor. And I'm thinking, what the hell is this? You know, it was like Abbott and Costello meet the Mad Professor. You know, it was kind of weird. But then I found out that it's actually songs by Ben Wiseman, who wrote songs like Got a Lot of Living to Do, Don't Leave Me Now, Crawfish, Wooden Heart, Rockahula Baby. They used to call him the Mad Professor. That was his nickname. So I guess it's kind of clever. So Elvis Sings Ben Wiseman would have been but Elvis Sings the Mad Professor, it definitely gets your attention, right? So a cool release. But again, this is a bootleg. It's not an official RCA BMG release. But in Europe, they're just going nuts. I mean, everything is colored vinyl. Everything is picture discs, and just about every angle they can go with Elvis recordings. Now, whether you know it or not, one of the reasons why there are so many bootlegs coming out over in Europe is because of Elvis's music becoming public domain. Now, I know a lot of people already know this, but for those of you who don't, in Europe, the law for public domain is different. The time frame is different. So right now, that's why you're seeing all these recordings or bootlegs coming out from 1970, from Elvis's 70 recordings, because it's 50 years ago. So I guess it's a 50-year time span, if I'm correct. The public domain is different in Europe than it is here, which allows them to people to release their recordings and not have to get permission from, you know, Sony BMG. So that's the reason for so many of them. Okay, so to wrap things up, I thought I would do something fun. I keep coming back to Moody Blue. I don't know why, but I keep coming back. But if you remember, I was telling everybody that we were talking about the stickers being on the cover, right? That if the stickers were on the cover, you knew it was blue vinyl. If the stickers were not on the cover, then it was black, right? Okay, you remember this, right? We were talking about that, like the blue came first, then it went to black, then it went to blue. And my whole issue, I think, at the time was the sticker being on the cover, okay? Now, I know as a fact, in the past, that I had found copies, sealed copies of Moody Blue without the stickers, and I know for a fact that I opened it up and it was black. Well, guess what? I just got this off of eBay, and it is an RCA AFL1 Moody Blue, all right? No stickers. And if you look carefully, there are no, like, round glue things. Like, you know, when a sticker is there and it falls off, there's, like, a little bit of residue. Nothing. Perfect. All right, so I've been waiting to do this. So anyway, the only thing that's kind of weird is the shrink wrap goes across. There's a line of shrink wrap. Do you see that? When I move it there? Okay, anyway, so and it's a cutout, ladies and gentlemen. It is a cutout right there. Okay. Of course, remember, they pulled the black vinyls, right? So if they pulled it, they could have ended in the cutout bin pretty quick. So, or sent back to the factories, and then they cut them there at the factory as a return. All right, especially when the blues came out, right? So my guess is this is a black vinyl Moody Blue, and we're going to find out right now. You know what? You ever find one like this, folks? You've got to do this. There's just no two ways. So here is another sealed to reveal right here on the Collecting the King show. And I'm going to open this sucker up. And my prediction is, and when I bought this, I thought the same thing. This is going to be black. And if it is, it's more than $100 album, which I think I only paid $20 for this. All right, I just opened it. Are you ready? Are you nervous? I'm not. Poor acting ability, huh? All right, we pull it out. Ladies and gentlemen, is it black or is it blue? Oh my God. Wow. It's blue. Oh my God, it's blue. I am like totally shocked. It's blue and there are no stickers. So let's see about the etching. Maybe the etching will tell us, is it a first press or is it the later? And it is hand etched. It is not stamped. All right, and I know you can't tell that by looking at it, but you'll have to trust me. It's the hand etched trail off numbers, like we had decided before. If you remember with the Moody Blue, we talked about the hand etched ones are obviously the first Moody Blues pressed on blue, and then the later ones were stamped. So obviously, here we go. First pressing Moody Blue on blue vinyl, and it came in a record cover without stickers. Well, there goes that theory. I thought for sure. I bought that thing for 20 bucks. Oh well. What can you do, right? Nothing. Okay, so that about wraps things up for the show. I did want to mention some things before we close here. Number one, we have many shows planned for 2022. Now that my film is done, I'm very anxious to get back to the show. I want to try to do at least a show once a month or maybe twice a month. It depends. But I've got plenty of topics, and I want to follow through with interviews and stuff like that with people involved with Elvis or new Elvis, or even people who are just collectors, because it is about collecting. So we might even have some collectors on the show. But coming up probably in the next show, we're going to have an audio interview with my good friend and book author, Jerry Osborne. And we will be talking about the future plans for the next Presleyana, or Presleyana in general, and what's going to happen with the Presleyana price guide. Because normally it comes out every 5 years, okay? And we're at that 5-year mark for the book. But we'll talk more about that with Jerry and what the plans are for the future of Presleyana. So as a reminder, don't forget to send all your inquiries and want lists to this address here, collectingtheking@gmail.com. So if you have a want list or anything like that, let me know and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Again, we don't have a catalog or a list or a website or anything like that, but I have thousands of Elvis items, records, memorabilia, all kinds of stuff, not to mention all of the great stuff from Howard DeVorn, Al DeVorn's son, and his private collection. So anything from the previous shows, the Elvis on Tour show or the Viva Las Vegas show, any of those items, I still have plenty of those items. If you're interested, let me know. Subscribe to the channel. And we do appreciate you guys for sticking around and staying with us and being so loyal to the channel. So again, thank you for watching. This has been the return of the Collecting the King show. And we are out of here.